Hey the YouTube, it's Gunded73 making another episode of Knife Talk, and today we're going to be talking about blade centering. I have 6 knives here, 3 of which are centered and 3 of which are off-center. Now basically what I say by centered or whatnot is the Sebenza. Sebenza is well known for being a centered blade, and basically it means that when the blade is closed, it's right dead center in the middle. This one's centered perfectly. If it looks, the funny thing with centering is what can make it look off center is if like the edge is uneven. Like that's pretty much dead centered though, you can see. And really, it's just one of those pet peeve issues. Does this affect the function of a knife whatsoever? No, not really. It's just a fit and finish thing. And some knives, like the Sebenza, one of the nice things about them is that when you disassemble the knife and you reassemble it, it goes back to being centered right away. You don't have to play around with it at all. Now, here's an off-centered knife, I should say. This is Spyderco Paramilitary 2, and you can see that it is biased towards the right. Now, with most off-center knives, you can adjust them back. It's not that big of a deal. What it boils down to is just adjusting these screws correctly. And for me, it's not that big of an issue to me because, it doesn't affect how smooth the knife is or the ergonomics or how it cuts. Like I said, it's just a really pet peeve issue for some people. Now, one thing that's funny is I noticed some brands are better at centering. Like Chris Reeve is pretty much spot on. Spyderco, in my experience, it's kind of rare to get a centered knife. You can see my military is pretty much dead center. But this is the only Spyderco I have that's centered. All the other ones are off slightly. And then like the Salt here, this one is also ever so slightly biasing the right, as you can see. Then on the Tilt here, this is also off center. See that? Not a big deal though. Like I said, it doesn't affect anything, so no big deal. Then I was also, it depends. It depends on how the knife is made and what kind of lock it has. Because like a frame lock or a liner lock will tend to be off center more than say a back lock. Because when this is closed, you can see that the frame and liner would be pushing against the blade, which tends to bias it to the right, pushes the blade that way. So, to get it, it's really just a matter of calibrating it correctly, but really it's overlooked a lot. It's not that big of a deal, But do you need to have an expensive knife to be centered? Nope. You can have a cheap knife like this Cold Steel be centered nicely. So, really, it's not that, in my opinion, it's not that big of a deal, but I know some people really get angry, especially when they pay like Sebenza money if it were to come off center. I could see that because you're basically paying for everything to be just right. When you go cheaper, you're basically taking concessions like it might not have a centered blade, so. Alright guys, that was another episode of Knife Talk. Thanks for watching. Requests are welcome, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.